Sir? Can you hear me?
Run,
What?
before they come back.
Stay with me. I'm not gonna let you die.
What did you do?
Nothing.
I was dying.
You need a hospital.
The rain had turned the streets of Seoul into rivers of reflected neon. People hurried beneath umbrellas, taxis splashed through puddles, and the city continued moving as if nothing unusual had happened. Nobody noticed the man lying motionless beside a black luxury sedan. Nobody except a young black woman carrying a small grocery bag. Amara Williams stopped. At first, she thought the man had simply fallen. Then she noticed the dark stain spreading across his shirt. Her heart began to race. She looked down the street. Two men in dark clothing were disappearing around a corner. Amara knew she should keep walking. She knew she should call the police. She knew that getting involved with a stranger in the middle of the night was probably the worst decision she could make. But something inside her refused to leave him there. She slowly approached. "Sir?" The man didn't answer. Amara crouched beside him. "Can you hear me?" His eyes opened slightly. He looked at her for barely a second before whispering, "Run." Amara frowned. "What?" "Before they come back." His eyes closed again. Amara's hand immediately went to his neck. His pulse was dangerously weak. She looked around nervously. Nobody was coming. No ambulance. No police. No one. "Come on," she whispered. "Stay with me." The man's breathing became weaker. Amara stared at him. Then she looked at her own hand. For years, she'd promised herself she would never use her gift again. Her mother had made that promise a condition of their lives. Never use it. Never let anyone see it. And most importantly, never use it to save someone powerful. But the man in front of her was dying. Amara swallowed hard. "I'm sorry, Mom." She placed her palm against his chest. For a moment, nothing happened. Then a faint blue light appeared beneath her skin. Amara closed her eyes. The light spread from her palm across the man's body. Suddenly, she felt his pain. It rushed through her like a wave. Her chest tightened. Her breathing became difficult. She almost pulled away. But she held on. The man's heartbeat became stronger. The wound began to close. Amara's knees trembled. She could feel herself becoming weaker with every second. Finally, she pulled her hand away. The blue light disappeared. The man suddenly gasped. His eyes opened. He stared directly at her. "What did you do?" Amara stood quickly. "Nothing." He looked down at himself. Then back at her. "I was dying." "You weren't." "I know my own body." Amara picked up her grocery bag. "You need a hospital." "Wait." She turned. The man's eyes remained fixed on her. "Who are you?" Amara hesitated. "Nobody." Then she walked away into the rain. She didn't look back. She didn't see the man's expression change as he watched her disappear. She didn't know who he was. She didn't know that within minutes, several black vehicles would arrive. And she certainly didn't know that the man she'd just saved was Kang Min-jae. The most feared man in Seoul. Junho, Min-jae's right-hand man, jumped out of the first vehicle and ran toward him. "Boss." Min-jae slowly stood. Junho stopped in disbelief. "How are you standing?" Min-jae looked down at his shirt. The injury that should have left him helpless was almost completely gone. Junho looked at the ground, then at his boss. "Boss, what happened?" Min-jae didn't answer. His eyes remained fixed on the street where the mysterious woman had disappeared. "Find her." Junho blinked. "Who?" "The woman." "Which woman?" "The one who saved me." Junho stared at him. "You mean the woman in the CCTV footage?" Min-jae nodded. Find her. And if she doesn't want to be found? Min-jae looked at him. Then don't scare her. That answer surprised Junho. Min-jae was not known for asking twice. He controlled businesses throughout Seoul and had built an underground network powerful enough to make his enemies think carefully before crossing him. People feared his name. Yet tonight, one mysterious woman had walked into his life, saved him, and disappeared before he could even learn her name. Min-jae wanted answers. Back in his penthouse, Junho placed a tablet on the desk. We found one working camera. The footage began playing. There was Min-jae beside the car. Then Amara appeared. Junho slowed the video. They watched her kneel beside Min-jae. Then the blue light appeared. Junho leaned closer. What is that? Min-jae said nothing. Boss? Zoom in. The image became blurry, but the strange light was still visible. Min-jae stared at it. Something about it felt familiar. An old story suddenly returned to his mind. Years ago, his grandmother had told him about a woman who could heal people simply by touching them. He'd laughed at the story. He thought it was nothing more than an old family legend. Now he wasn't laughing. Find her, he said again. Across Seoul, Amara locked the door of her tiny apartment. She leaned against it and took a deep breath. Her hands were still trembling. She looked at her palm. The blue glow was gone. But she could still feel the man's pain inside her. Amara walked to a small wooden box hidden beneath her bed. She pulled it out and opened it. Inside was an old photograph of her mother. Miriam Williams. Amara had been only 14 when her mother disappeared. There had never been a proper explanation. No funeral. No goodbye. Just an empty room and a note telling Amara to be brave. Amara turned the photograph over. 4 words were written on the back. Never heal the powerful. She stared at them. Her mother had repeated those words throughout her childhood. Amara had never understood why. Now she wondered whether the man she'd saved was the reason. A knock came at the door. Amara froze. Miss Williams? She didn't move. Another knock. Delivery. Amara slowly approached the door and looked through the peephole. There was a man standing outside. No delivery box. No uniform. Just a dark coat and a blank expression. Amara stepped away. Her phone rang. Unknown number. She stared at it. Then answered. Hello? A man's voice came through. You saved my life. Amara's face went pale. Who is this? You know who. How did you get my number? I have resources. Amara's voice became firm. Stay away from me. She hung up. Then the lights went out. Amara froze. The door handle began moving. Someone was trying to enter. She grabbed her bag and rushed toward the bedroom. The lock broke. 2 masked men entered. Amara climbed through the window and onto the fire escape. One of them grabbed her coat. She pulled free and ran down the stairs. Her heart hammered. She reached the street. A black SUV suddenly stopped in front of her. The rear door opened. A man inside shouted. Get in. Amara stepped back. Who are you? I'm Junho. I don't know you. The people behind you aren't here to talk. Amara looked over her shoulder. The 2 masked men had reached the street. She jumped into the SUV. It sped away. Junho looked at her. My boss wants to speak with you. Amara shook her head. I don't want anything to do with your boss. Junho looked out the window. Someone just tried to kidnap you. Amara went silent. Then she realized something even more frightening. Someone knew about her power. The SUV eventually stopped outside an elegant private restaurant. Amara entered cautiously. Min-jae was waiting inside. She recognized him immediately. You. He stood. You saved my life. And now your enemies are after me. Yes. So this is your fault. Min-jae didn't argue. Probably. Amara stared at him. She hadn't expected that answer. He motioned toward the chair. Sit. I don't take orders from strangers. A faint smile appeared on his face. Then sit because you need answers. Amara reluctantly sat. Min-jae remained standing. I can protect you. I don't need protection. Someone broke into your apartment tonight. She looked away. Min-jae continued. You need answers. I can give you some. What do you want? He answered honestly. To know what you did to me. Amara looked at her hands. It's a gift. Who gave it to you? My mother. Min-jae became still. What was her name? Miriam. His expression changed. Amara noticed immediately. Why? Instead of answering, Min-jae reached into his jacket and removed an old photograph. He placed it on the table. Amara picked it up. Her breathing stopped. Her mother was standing in the photograph beside a younger Korean man. She recognized him immediately. Min-jae's father. Where did you get this? My father kept it. Amara looked at him. My mother knew your family? That's impossible. She disappeared afterward. Amara's fingers tightened around the photograph. Memories returned. Her mother packing their belongings. Her mother refusing to explain why they were leaving Korea. Her mother telling her. Some people become dangerous when they owe you their lives. Amara suddenly understood. Her mother hadn't simply disappeared. She had been running from something. Meanwhile, across the city, an older Korean businessman watched the CCTV footage of Amara using her power. Chairman Han leaned back in his chair. So the healer's daughter survived. His assistant stood nearby. Yes. Find her. What about Kang Min-jae? Han smiled. Let him find her first. The assistant looked confused. Han continued. If Min-jae trusts her, he'll bring her close. He looked at the screen. And then we'll take both of them. The next morning, Amara met Min-jae in a quiet garden. She had barely slept. Can you heal anyone? He asked. Not exactly. Then explain. She hesitated. When I heal someone, I take some of their pain into myself. Min-jae looked at her hands. That's why you collapsed. Amara nodded. The bigger the injury, the greater the price. What happens if you use it too much? She looked away. I don't know. Then she added quietly. My mother did. Min-jae understood. Before he could say anything, a vehicle approached. Amara turned. Several men stepped out. Min-jae immediately moved in front of her. Get behind me. The attack happened quickly. Junho and Min-jae's men tried to protect them, but another vehicle blocked the road. Someone grabbed Amara. Min-jae. He reached for her. The vehicle sped away. Junho ran toward him. Boss. Min-jae watched the vehicle disappear. His expression became cold. Lock down Seoul. Who do you think did this? Min-jae looked at the photograph of Amara's mother. Someone who knows exactly what she can do. Amara woke in an unfamiliar room. Chairman Han stood nearby. You look exactly like your mother. Amara stared at him. You knew her. I knew what she could do. He placed an old newspaper article on the table. Amara recognized the photograph immediately. Her mother. The article described a mysterious woman who had saved several people during an accident years earlier. Your mother could have changed the world, Han said. Then why did she disappear? Because she discovered what powerful men do when they realize death doesn't have to be permanent. Amara's face hardened. Han continued. She refused to help us. And you killed her? Han said nothing. His silence answered the question. Amara looked away. For the first time in years, she felt the pieces of her mother's disappearance coming together. But she wasn't going to let Han control her. She waited until her guard left the room. Then she escaped. She ran through the corridor. A door opened. She stopped. Min-jae stood there. For a moment, neither spoke. Then Amara whispered. You came. I told you I'd protect you. They ran. They reached the exit. Then a gunshot echoed. Min-jae fell. Min-jae. Amara dropped beside him. Junho shouted. Boss. Min-jae tried to push himself up. Don't. I can save you. No. You saved me. That's not the same. Amara looked at him. I won't watch another person die. She placed her hand against him. The blue light returned. But this time, something was different. The moment she touched him, Amara saw something. A memory. Min-jae as a child. His father standing in a dark room. Chairman Han standing beside him. Then she heard Han's voice. Your son will never know the truth. The memory changed. Min-jae's father looked frightened. Amara pulled away. Min-jae stared at her. What did you see? Your father. He slowly sat up. He was betrayed. Junho looked shocked. By who? Amara looked toward the corridor. Chairman Han. Min-jae's face changed. The man he had trusted for years had been responsible for his family's suffering. Where is Han? He asked. Junho checked his phone. His face went pale. He's at headquarters. Min-jae stood. Then let's go home. When they arrived, Chairman Han was waiting. I knew you'd come, Han said. Min-jae stepped forward. You killed my father. Han smiled. Your father was weak. Min-jae's fists tightened. Amara stepped beside him. Han looked at her. You think she saved you because she cares about you? Amara answered. I saved him because he was dying. Han laughed. That power belongs to people like me. No. Amara raised her hand. It belongs to no one. Junho and the security team entered. Han's operation collapsed. But Amara could barely stand. Min-jae noticed. You used your power again. Someone had to. How much did it cost you? She gave him a tired smile. Enough. Min-jae looked at her. You shouldn't have saved me. Maybe. She paused. But I did. Later that night, Amara returned home. She opened her mother's wooden box again. Something caught her attention. The photograph had a hidden compartment. Inside was a letter. Her hands trembled as she opened it. The handwriting was unmistakable. Her mother's. If you are reading this, then you have used your gift to save someone powerful. Amara's eyes widened. She continued reading. There is something I never told you. She turned the page. Your ability is not simply healing. Amara looked at her hand. You can also see the truth hidden inside a person's memories. Amara remembered what she had seen inside Min-jae's mind. His father's fear. Han's betrayal. But there was more. She read the final lines. One day, you will meet someone whose life is connected to yours in ways you cannot imagine. Amara lowered the letter. A knock came at the door. She froze. Then she heard his voice. Amara? Min-jae. She slowly approached the door. Her mother's final words were still in her mind. Then she noticed another sentence at the bottom of the letter. A sentence she hadn't seen before. Don't trust the man you saved. Amara stopped. Her hand hovered over the door handle. She opened it. Min-jae stood outside. I wanted to make sure you're okay. Amara stared at him. Something felt different. His expression was calm. Too calm. Then she noticed his eyes. For the briefest moment, they seemed to glow blue. Amara stepped backward. Min-jae. What? Her voice trembled. What are you? Min-jae said nothing. The blue glow in his eyes disappeared. Then he smiled. And the door slowly closed. Amara stood alone in the darkness. She had thought she'd saved a dying mafia boss. She had thought she'd uncovered the truth about her mother's disappearance. She had thought the danger was finally over. But she was wrong. Because the night she saved Kang Min-jae, she hadn't simply saved his life. She had awakened something inside him. And now Amara had to discover the truth before the power she had spent her entire life hiding became the very thing that destroyed her.